Let's get tuned up.
Good evening from Candlestick Park in San Francisco. It's the second round of the playoffs. Just 8 contenders left on the road to the Super Bowl now. And tonight, fighting for the right to go on to the NFC Championship next week, are 2 teams that could scarcely be more different and still be playing the same game. In the red corner, wearing loafers with no socks and representing the West Coast, are the 49ers, the NFL Sophisticates, and the team with the league's flashiest, most prolific offense. In the blue corner, with the league's stingiest defense and a prehistoric East Coast running game, are the working man's team, the New York Giants. And continuing the theme of stark contrast, Bob Golic is here for me to look up to for wit and wisdom once again. Bob, thanks for wearing the stack heels. Really, these 2 teams from different ends of the evolutionary scale in the NFL.
Right, and I think we watched the same thing last week in a very basic Steeler team and a kind of a flashy, big play Kansas City Chief team. We're seeing the same thing here. I mean, Phil Simms, obviously a very talented quarterback for the Giants, but Rodney Hampton is the workhorse. He's the guy that's going to go out there and just eat up the yardage, eat up the clock. On the other side, what can you say? It's young to Rice. That's all you got to say.
Talking of young to Rice, have a look at this statistic. A lot of statistics in the NFL don't mean much, but the 49ers scoring record is unavoidable this season, nearly 200 points better than the NFL average. And Bob, if it gets into a scoring contest, you've got to favor the 49ers.
Oh, easily. As we said before, it's good to have a nice basic attack where you can control the ball, which is what the Giants do. But if you need to score points and score them quickly, and we've seen the 49ers do this year after year after year, and they can do it pretty much at will, and they tear games apart in the second half, and that's something the Giants really have to look out for. They've got to stay consistent and just try and shut down those big plays.
Okay, well, one of the best ways of keeping somebody's offense quiet is to keep it off the field, and nobody does that better than the Giants. They lead the league in time of possession. They also have the league's leading running game, which they used to good effect against Minnesota last week, 161 yards for Rodney Hampton, and really the 49ers don't have a great run defense.
No, they don't, and that's where the running attack of the Giants comes in. If you have somebody, a defense that is built to withstand that kind of pounding that you're going to get from a good running attack, then you can shut them down. But if you're going to have problems, if you're going to let them continue to run the ball, if you're going to let them continue to run the clock and eat time off the clock and gain yardage and get the first downs, keep churning it out, eventually it's going to wear out the defense, not just up front where they're running, but also the defensive backs, who normally are the coverage people, but will have to come up and help support on the run.
Now, the last time these 2 teams met in the playoffs was the 1990 NFC Championship game, which the Giants won, went on to win Super Bowl 25, of course. That game marked the end of an era here at Candlestick Park, the last game that Joe Montana started as a 49er. Lawrence Taylor recovered a fumble, a crucial one in that game, to help seal the Giants' win. And this game, if the Giants lose it, could mark the end of his career.
The fans have treated me very well over 13 years. Management has treated me well over 13 years, and the players have treated me well over 13 years. And I tell you, it's nice to go out, if it is my last game, with a channel like LT, because that's what I play Sunday. That's what I play for.
Lawrence Taylor speaking there after last week's Minnesota game, when the New York fans gave him a great send-off at the Meadowlands. He won't commit himself to saying he's going to retire at the end of the season, but that sounded very much like a retirement speech. Bob, let me put you on the spot. Will this be LT's last game, or will the Giants win and give him one more?
Well, you know what? I look at the series of games this weekend, and I think of all the games this weekend, I think the talent level of these 2 teams are the most evenly matched. This is the one game that I hesitate to pick a winner. I see the Giants have a very, very good chance of doing it, but the flashiness, the big playability of the 49ers I think, is going to be the dominant thing. So if it comes down to it, the way it looks like it's going to happen, LT's going to end up having to retire. And I talked to him just a little bit ago, and I told him, LT, I retired once and I stayed retired. you've done it twice already, and it's like, let's just get it over with. We're tired of giving you gifts, and you're going to have to give them back next time. And he just said, shut up, Bob. I'm playing a game, so.
Talking of which, let's both shut up and get on with the game. We'll have news of the other 3 playoff games for you later on in the show, but this one's about to kick off. Flash versus Bash. Your commentators are Pat Summerall and John Madden.
Sellout crowd at Candlestick, as you would expect for a game of this magnitude. Kickoff is deep and without doubt will be downed by Dexter Carter. Steve Young, the 49er quarterback, continues to break records. A little scuffle going on the opening kickoff. That's the line in front of Steve Young. Wallace and Harris, Barton the tackles, McIntyre and Tam. Backs and receivers, Ricky Waters, the great Jerry Rice, Brent Jones the tight end, Tom Rathman, ever steady at fullback. Here is Steve Young. And the 49ers will operate from their own 20. Young will throw on first down. To Waters. About 9. The Giant defensive unit. They open with Eric Howard in the middle this week. Mike Fox and Keith Hamilton, the defensive ends. Lawrence Taylor, Michael Brooks, Bailey, and Miller, the linebackers. Very active. Raymond, Jackson, Guyton, and Mark Collins. An amazing year he's had. 2nd and 1. Pass completion from Young to Waters, got 9. Waters. Hit by Howard. Got a first down, I believe.
One thing, we were talking to Ricky Waters the other day, and he was saying that he kind of likes when the 49ers get finished with their script. They script the first 15 plays. And he said that's just kind of a feeling out period. In other words, they know what they're going to play. They know what the plays are. And he said that's okay. But he said then after those 15 plays, then you get into the flow of the game and you get to know how it's going.
And that's when they score most of their points. Steve Young to throw. Taylor is wide open. Taylor to the Giant 39. Stopped by Collins.
And when you talk about the great wide receivers on this team, you always talk about Jerry Rice, but you can't forget John Taylor. If you do, he'll kill you. See, the Giants have to bump him. Corey Raymond missed that bump, so now it's easy. Now it's just in the zone. He went right by Raymond. He got in front of Jackson, and the Giant defense on that play was not aggressive at all.
He ran that pattern like you draw it up.
He ran it unmolested. If you're going to play cover 2, you got to bump those outside guys.
Young again. To Waters. Maybe another 49er first down. Corey Raymond made the stop.
Yeah, we talked earlier about the 49ers not having confidence, Pat. I'm not sure if they did or not, but we're sure getting it right here. You watch here, just Steve Young gets good pass protection, takes the outside. That's the thing that Steve Young can do. It's just not run all the time, but just move enough to buy some time. Then he has so many great speedy receivers out there that he hits any of them, they can get big plays for
Waters got the first down. They're at the Giant 28. Ricky Waters to about the 23. Stopped by Guyton.
This offensive line of the 49ers, these guys are really such good athletes. If you watch Steve Wallace, the left tackle, he's going to pull all the way around here and lead Ricky Waters. Once number 74, a lot of times you pull the guard, you pull the tackle, there's the guard, and the tackle. See that block that he gets right there? That was a block. It's not a big run, but if Steve Wallace doesn't make that block, that play doesn't gain anything.
This is Rice in motion. Young throws it cross field to Rice. And Rice scrambles down to the 10. Good looking drive by the 49ers.
Great pass protection that time, because that one you have to give to the offensive line. You just watch the time that Steve Young had here. and he's doing what he wanted to do. He got the ball to John Taylor. Now he gets it to Jerry Weiss. Watch the time. He looks right, looks left, and then he finally comes off to Jerry Rice for the big play. But the thing is, the offensive line gave him a lot of time, or the Giants really didn't get any pressure on Steve Young on that play.
And Young is 4 out of 4. Waters it to the 1-foot line. Collins and Jackson made the tackle.
This is a fired-up 49er offense.
Sharp.
I mean, these guys come out here and they're gonna knock guys off the ball. They're pass protected and they're doing everything. This is an offensive machine here. Ricky Waters said, "I've heard enough about Rodney Hampton." He said, "All week I hear Rodney Hampton this, Rodney Hampton Giants running." He said, "I'm going to show there's going to be more than one running back in this game."
2nd and 1 at the 1. Touchdown 49ers, Ricky Waters. Just strolled in.
That is offensive football.
Whoa, that's good.
That's mixture. It's pass protection. It's run. It's offensive line. It's pulling. That was a perfect drive by the 49ers. And I'll tell you, that had the Giants defense on their heels too, Pat. They were not aggressive at all on that drive.
8 plays, 80 yards. Kofer for the extra point. Bono holding. Extra point is no good. They have had all kinds of problems in the kicking area.
Well, you heard John Madden say that the 49ers like to script their opening drive. They couldn't have scripted it much better than that. Ricky Waters getting the ball 6 times on an 8-play drive. We told you about the Giants running game being the best in the league before the game. What we didn't mention was that the 49ers are second best. That missed extra point, though, may come back to haunt them. We'll see. Join us after the break. Welcome back. Well, the 49ers went out and delivered a statement of intent on their opening drive. A high-scoring game is what they would like. It suits their style. Let's rejoin the action. They lead it 6-0.
Will be kept in the end zone. So Phil Simms has a chance to take over with his offensive unit. In front of him, the unsung but very effective offensive line, Moore, Roberts, Oates, Cratch, and Riesenberg. In the secondary behind them, the ball handlers, Hampton, Bunch, Callaway, Jackson, and Cross. First and 10 at the 20. They start out with 2 tight ends, and this is Hampton. Rodney Hampton for about 4. Let's look at the San Francisco defense. Carl Wilson, Ted Washington, the rookie Dana Stubblefield, and Dennis Brown. Romanowski, Walter, and John Johnson, the linebackers. Griffin, Hanks, McDonald, and Eric Davis at the other corner. We'll be watching McDonald as he keys on Hampton most of the day. Pierce was the move man. That's Hampton. About a yard. It'll bring up a rare situation for the Giants. 3rd and long.
You know, one of the things that Phil Simms was talking about yesterday, Pat, was the fact that he wants to dictate the pace of this game, and what he wants to do is he wants to slow everything down and then, of course, get first downs. By doing that, keep the 49er offense off the field, but that's all good as long as you move the ball and score touchdowns.
3rd and 5. Is complete to Meggett. He might have lost a yard by Romanowski.
That was a heck of a play by Bill Romanowski, because that's one thing the Giants like to do. They like to get the ball to Dave Meggett on those 3rd downs and about 5 yards and let him run with it. Meggett comes out. Watch Romanowski. He's right on him. And boom! Right there. Meggett doesn't go anymore after he catches that ball.
No chance to make a move. Horan to punt it. Good kick, and he was kicking well in warm-ups. Chases Dexter Carter all the way back to his own 20. Gets inside a couple of blockers, and now he's got some more room. Carter to midfield and into Giant territory. Greg Jackson, about the last man who had a shot, made the tackle.
The 49ers really have this Giant team back on their heels.
They are reeling at the moment. 6-0, San Francisco.
Well, the 49ers defense have evidently come out in the same mood as the 49ers offense, shutting down the Giants on their opening drive before Dexter Carter gave them great field position with that run back. Let's see if they can capitalize on it.
Young will throw it again. Again open. Near the 30. Stopped by Miller.
I'll tell you, the thing that they're not doing is they're not getting the bump on the wide receivers. Now, if you don't get the bump in the wide receivers, then they can find the holes in the zone. And you see what Steve Young is doing there? He's throwing over the linebacker and in front of the secondary. So that's the areas that they can get. They can flood a zone, or they can run in and crossing patterns and get in the layers of the zones. And that's exactly what they did there.
And a pass like that requires a very, very delicate touch. Waters to about the 27. Mike Fox made the stop.
I think the big thing here is that the 49ers have really gotten this Giant defense off balance. I mean, they have great mixture. They've run, they've passed to their backs, they pass to their outside receivers, and that's a big thing with the 49ers. If they're going to get in sync, they have to get their outside receivers in the game early, especially Jerry Rice.
That they've been able to do.
And when they can do that, they're lethal.
2nd down and 7. To Waters. Again, he is open, and again he gets a first down. The Giants have not quite figured out where he's coming from yet.
Well, you know, watch what happens here is when Rice comes here. Now, if you get a bump on him and take him here, then there's room for the back to get out in this area. Now, that's what happens. You see, they get so concerned out there with Jerry Rice. Now, watch Waters here. He comes across, and he's wide open. See, Jerry Rice runs Corey Raymond off. Then they send Waters across the backfield, sneak him out into that area that should have been Corey Raymond's zone.
First down, Waters. Not much there this time. Total yards, the 49ers already have 110. The Giants only 5 in their only possession. 6:16 left to play in the first quarter.
And if it weren't for that missed extra point, and that thing will sit there all day unless you gain a whole heck of a lot of points. But if it weren't for that, the 49ers have been perfect so far.
Waters comes out. Dexter Carter has replaced him. Rathman is the other back, 2nd and 10. Rathman on the move and Young back to throw. To Carter, juggled it and dropped it. He was open.
Yeah, that's a play just for Dexter Carter. You know, Dexter Carter is their kick returner, and he's also a good open field runner. And they just put him in with that one play. They took Waters out for one play, took Tom Rathman, put him out in motion, so Carter was the only guy. Then they had that optional route in there. He ran it perfectly and just dropped the ball.
That's much the same way the Giants used Dave Meggett.
It's an old Bill Walsh thing, you know, where you kind of have a play for a guy. That was Dexter Carter's play.
That's Odessa Turner in motion. Here's Young to throw it. Don't forget what a runner he is. He gets to about the 12. He goes head first. Rolled over.
And he didn't do what he said that he was going to do the other day. He said his coach, Mike Shanahan, the offensive coordinator, said, hey, you're starting to get hurt on those things. You're starting to look dumb. He said, if you run, he said, do for 2 things. Either go out of bounds or go for the end zone. I don't know that he's going for the end zone there. he leads head first. And when you lead head first and you take it on your left shoulder and you're a left-handed passer, that can hurt you.
A little stinger. Kofer from 29 yards out. Remember, he missed the extra point. Bono hold it. Kofer's kick is good, and the 49ers now lead 9-0. We're still in the first quarter.
Well, cornerback Mark Collins was one of the Giants' injury worries before the game. He's got 2 sprained knees. Didn't seem to be much wrong with him there when he put that big hit on Steve Young to stop the 49ers drive. Mike Kofer redeems himself somewhat with the field goal, and San Francisco leads 9-0.
Look at this.
Yeah, this is a play you see right there. Mark Collins comes in and hits him right on that left shoulder. You can see him go across there, and they were checking him on the sideline. Plus they have Steve Bono was warming up.
Back in that group there, Steve Young, he's got an ice bag on the back of his neck.
It was just a thing he was talking about not doing. He said that, you know, he doesn't know how to go down. He doesn't know how to end it. And he should be running out of bounds more. Funny how when you start a game, instincts take over.
This is Megan, who handled that line drive kickoff, and Megan, very nearly out of the pack with a lot of room, is cut down by Damian Russell. And the Giants will take over.
You know, when we were talking to the Giants the other day about, you know, knowing that they had to run, knowing that their offensive line has to do it, knowing that they had to have time of possession. You see, they haven't done any of those things, but they also thought that maybe they were going to have to pass a little more on first down, and I agree with that.
And I think we'll see it right here. Sims to throw it. Pass is picked off by the 49ers on the rebound. The ball pops straight up in the air. Tim McDonald came up with the ball.
Tim McDonald is the guy that they think is going to be real aggressive on the run. But on this one, he just sits back there in the zone. The ball bounces up in the air. Watch 46 McDonald. He comes, he gets the dive, the jump ball, does a little circle thing here, comes out of it, and gets the interception.
49ers have the ball now. Here's the interception again, and Steve Young is back at quarterback. Waters was the man in motion. This is Radman. Lowers his head and gets down to about the 35-yard line of the Giants, stopped by Guyton.
Now, Tim McDonald, who got that interception, this is an excited guy just to be in the playoffs because, you know, he played all those years with the Phoenix Cardinals, and, you know, he made All-Pro, and he was in the Pro Bowl, and he said those things are nice, but there's nothing like being in championship games, and he was so excited when we talked to him the other day, he just couldn't wait to get on with this game.
Of course, having spent those years with Phoenix, he's very, very familiar with the Giants. Here's Young back to throw it. Snake gets it to Brent Jones. Like the pass, the ball was almost past Brent Jones when he made the catch.
Yeah, if you look at that Tim McDonald interception here, he's trying to throw it to number 80, Chris Callaway, but I think the guy that hits it is right there is Bill Romanowski. You see, it was behind Callaway, hits Romanowski, then gets up in the air, and here comes Tim McDonald and gets the interception.
I think more than him hitting the ball hit him.
Yeah, he just kind of had his hands up in the air, and the ball hit him right between the eyes, it looked like.
1st and 10, San Francisco. Radman. A couple.
There's Tim McDonald, who we were talking about earlier, who got that interception, who, you know, thought that, you know, those last 2 games that they lost and then having a week off was, you know, really been a long time for him because he's waiting so long to get in a playoff game. He's never been, this is the first one he's ever been in the NFL. And he said those have been the longest 3 weeks since they clinched their playoff position, the longest time he's ever had to live in football.
Here's Young. Gets the ball quarter. The Giants had none.
You know, the thing that they do is spread this ball around so well that, you know, you can't take a guy away. You can talk about how good Jerry Rice is. Then they got Ricky Waters. Then they got Brent Jones.
On first down, Waters behind Ralph Tam. Good tackle by Corey Raymond, cuts him down. Carlton Bailey also there. '49ers today. Balance is what you always look for, and they've had it. 10 rushes, 9 passes for 109 yards. They've rushed it for 35.
And of course, that's their script. They used to script 25 plays, and then they went down to scripting 20 plays. Now they script 15 plays, and the script worked pretty good today, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Young on a delay to Waters to the 10. That'll bring up third. And about 4.5. Guyton and Tate.
Yeah, Ricky Waters is one of those guys that you like to have on your team, I think, because he's always excited. I mean, he's a hyper guy, and he's moving all the time. I mean, he's in a meeting and he's moving. You know, he's on the field, he's moving. He comes out here before the game and he tries to run around the place and shake hands with every fan in the place, telling them all to yell. He does everything.
He says he's going to be calm, but he doesn't show that. Young rolls out. 2 blockers in front. Scrambles to about the half-yard line. Looked as if he took the dive for the end zone a little bit early.
Well, that's what Mike Shanahan told him. Do one of 2 things. Either go for the end zone or go out of bounds. That time, he's going to take his right guard, Ralph Tam, and follow him. You see, it's a little roll. You see 64? Get right in behind him. He fakes the pass. There's a block by Tam. He gets Collins to the ground. Had he stayed up a little more, like you said, that would have been a touchdown. Because Tam got a heck of a block on Mark Collins.
That's the end of the first quarter.
Well, everything going the 49ers' way in the first quarter. 9-0 at the moment, Bob. But you've got to believe that as soon as we come back for the second, it's going to be more than that.
Oh, it's incredible. I mean, I watched that first series that the 49ers had, and at that point I'm thinking, this may be a blowout. That ball control offense that we talked about the Giants having, they've been 3 plays and out. It's non-existent. The 49ers have run the ball. They've thrown the ball short to running backs, thrown it short to wide receivers, shown it long to wide receivers. Everything they've done has worked.
Okay, well, the Giants did come back, as we saw against the Dallas Cowboys in the second half, so you can't count them out. But at the moment, things are looking pretty grim for them. 49ers knocking on the door. They have the ball at the goal line when we come back. We left the 49ers on their 3rd possession, threatening to put their 3rd set of points on the scoreboard. They've got the ball at the 1. Back to the action.
Waters and Rathman behind Young. Waters. His second of the day.
Yep, he was fired up on Thursday. He was fired up on Friday. He was fired up before the game, and it just carried right into the first half of this game.
Ricky Waters has scored twice.
Ricky Waters brings life and enthusiasm to an offense, and I'll tell you, this offense wasn't the same when Ricky Waters was out.
Kofer will try the extra point with Bono holding. He missed his first attempt. This one's good.
Well, Steve Young, the 49ers quarterback, talked in the week during interviews about the need for San Francisco to score on every possession because of the Giants' ability to run the ball and eat up the clock. So far, the 49ers have eaten up the clock. They've also scored on every possession, and they're controlling this one.
You see Ricky Waters there, Pat, is getting a little oxygen now. Earlier, and now he's drinking Gatorade, but earlier in the game, this is how he came out, remember?
Yep.
He came out and he went around and he was like giving high fives to the whole fans and telling them, we need you today, we need you in the game. And he went out and gave a little speech to, I think, every fan that was here today.
That was about an hour and a half before game time.
The more things you can do.
Get him into it. Sims to Hampton. About 3. Dana Stubblefield, who had an outstanding rookie year for San Francisco, made the stop.
You know, the 49ers have been good for so long that sometimes they feel that the fans here have gotten spoiled and they really don't appreciate this team, and sometimes they don't make a lot of noise and they're not really into it. But I think today in playoff games they understand that part of it because they're in this one.
2nd and 7. Sims will throw. Didn't have time. Stubblefield, first man there.
And that's what you can do. They can say that they don't have a pass rush, they don't have this, but watch Stubblefield. He's number 94. He comes off Oates, then he comes right up the middle into Sims. Sims saw that. He didn't have a chance. But Stubblefield went to the outside. Bart Oates tried to get him. He just went right by him. And Sims, as he went back, he saw Stubblefield get by Oates, and he just put the ball down.
Mike Walter was also blitzing, and that occupied another blocker. Meggett in the backfield with Sims on 3rd down. Back to throw it. Sims gets away from the 49er rush. Pass caught by Ed McCaffrey, but not enough for a first down.
So the 49ers got the ball for the 4th time in the game, but this time the Giants stopped them and should have had a turnover. Greg Jackson dropping what looked like a certain interception. As we rejoin the action, the Giants have the ball back on their own 13.
1st and 10. And Sims will throw. Incomplete, intended for Howard Cross. Mike Walter.
See, what happens is the Giants haven't gotten anything going yet. You know, and again, they have to, get Rodney Hampton going. They have to get that run going, and then they can go to the play pass. But if you don't get the run going and you're behind, then they're just going to get off the play pass anyway.
At what point, John, do you take a guy like Rodney Hampton out of the game? I don't mean standing on the sideline. I mean out of being an offensive factor.
I don't think you should until the 2nd half or the 4th quarter. I mean, I think you have to get it to that point before you do. I think the Giants just have to get something going. I think they have to think in terms of first downs, a little possession, you know, and just kind of start using building blocks to get there. They don't have to get there on one play because they aren't that kind of team.
They haven't been all year. Hampton still stands on the sideline. Meggett is in the lineup on 3rd and 5. 16-0 at Candlestick Park. The 49ers leading the Giants, who have no first downs. And Rodney Hampton has 3 carries for 7 yards. That pretty well tells you the story. Meggett in the backfield with Sims. Flag on the play. Pass intended for McCaffrey. Penalty marker down. Bernie Kukar, the referee, against the 49ers.
Well, that'll be the first down.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 92 on the defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Watch the head slap coming up here on Riesenberg.
That's it right there. That's a pretty good head slap, though. You know, that used to, remember when Deacon Jones used to do that was a big part of a pass rush. Then they took it away and said that you can't slap to the head anymore, but that was about as good a head slap as you're going to see.
There's Troy Wilson. And Riesenberg's ears have still got to be ringing. Hampton trying to swing it left. And nothing doing. He lost yardage. Carl Wilson and John Johnson made the stop. That was the Giants' first down of the day, and they got that one by penalty.
And that was the head slap to Riesenberg, but had Troy Wilson just hit his shoulder, that would have been a heck of a move.
2nd down. They need about 13 for a first. Meggett again back in the backfield. Sims has to scramble. That's on the hop, incomplete. Intended for Mark Jackson, a flag on the play.
You know, and either Sims is feeling the pressure too much, Pat, or there's too much pressure.
I think he was over the line when he threw that ball, yes.
Yeah, he was, but he's just going back, and he's given up on his pass protection early. Now maybe the pass protection is getting there, or maybe he's just feeling something that's not there.
Illegal forward pass. The quarterback was beyond the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Also loss of down. Third down.
See, the line of scrimmage is right there. The ball is right on the 30-yard line. See, now here, I think the pass protection looks okay, but he sees that coming from the left and he starts to run. He was just a step beyond when he threw that ball.
He was saying to us yesterday he was concerned about the push that the 49ers got. They didn't get off the blocks that well, but they did collapse the pocket.
Yeah, that's a big, strong defensive line, especially those guys in the middle. They just get on those blockers and push them right back into the quarterback.
On third down, that's Jackson in motion, and Sims back to throw it. Rolls out to his right. Pass complete. That's not enough for a first down, however. Callaway made the stop. He had to come back a little bit for it and did not get the first.
But the Giants maybe found something there to take down this pass rush a little. Sims moving out of the pocket. You see, Troy Wilson took an inside move that time, thinking Sims would be back there. They just pinned him to the inside and ran outside. Watch him now. He's going to come inside. They catch him in here, and then Sims can get to the outside. See him? He takes the inside right there. Meggett helps him. Now Sims can roll out there and find his receiver. So maybe in this process they found a way to pass protect.
Dexter Carter back deep for the 49ers. This one's another good one. Carter's going to let it go. That might have been a little mistake. The Giants down it at about the 7-yard line.
So the Giants continue to struggle on offense. Still haven't managed a first down under their own steam. But before the game, we were talking about Lawrence Taylor and this possibly being his last game. You've got to think now that the Giants are looking towards their defensive veterans, men like Lawrence Taylor, to get some aggression going on defense and perhaps give this team the lift that it needs to get back in the game. Back to the action now.
Waters, the ball carrier, gets it outside of the 10 to about the 12.
You know, Pat, just watching this Giant team on offense, defense, special teams, they look loggy today.
They really do.
You know, I mean, they're not crisp, they're not tackling, they're not going after these things, they're not aggressive, and they kind of started that way for the last 3 weeks. Remember against Dallas, they really didn't have a good first half. And then last week against Minnesota, they had a better second half. But you play against the 49ers, you can't afford a loggy first half.
Well, of course, the 49ers had the week off. The Giants had to travel all the way across the country. They came a day early. Not an excuse. Those are things you expect to have to do. This is Young to Taylor, who did a remarkable job of spinning around and picking up that ball coming out of the sun. A gain of 43 yards.
And again, the protection there Steve Young had all day. It was like there wasn't even any other team on the field. Watch Young, when he comes here and he gets out to this position, he's going to eventually throw it all the way across the field. But watch, there's no pass rush here at all. There's no pressure on Steve Young. They get the motion comes back, and then he comes back. Now it's organized that he's going to roll out here. See, they have everything over here, bring everything to this side of the field. Then they have Taylor deep down here, and he throws it back all the way across the field.
Ricky Waters gets the carry on first down. They get to about the Giant 43, stopped by Bailey.
The Giant defense looks like they're sleepwalking, and the 49er offense looks like they're really getting off on the ball. I mean, that they're really popping, that they're quick, that they're executing, that they're doing everything a good offense has to do, and the Giants aren't doing the things that a good defense has to do.
2nd and 8. 49ers leading 16-0. Young trying for more. As a man open, it's Jerry Rice. Rice got one block, gets to the 30. And another 49er first down. Stopped by Mark Collins.
And the great thing about Jerry Rice, Pat, is we all know that, you know, he can get open and catch, but every time he catches a ball, he thinks that he's going to score. You see, you got to bump him. The Giants aren't bumping him. They're just letting him run through those zones, and then he is tough to tackle. And the Giants are doing all the wrong things. They're not aggressive on the outside receivers. They're missing tackles. They're just not attacking this offense. And this offense is attacking this Giant defense.
Young is 10 out of 13. Odessa Turner into the game. That's Brent Jones in motion. The handoff is to Waters. He's got blockers in front. This is a good-looking play. Inside the 10, knocked out of bounds by Bailey. He got all his blockers around the corner.
And the guy that was leading him and can darn near run as fast as a running back is Guy McIntyre. You want to see a guard pull, watch McIntyre. He's going to pull here, and he's the guy that leads the play. And watch how fast he is. I mean, he can get out there, give a little. Now watch, he can run. I mean, he turns on those burners. Old McIntyre got some burners. And he just gives just enough of a block there to get a couple more yards. Watch him come at you. I mean, there's a big man, a big old guard, a Pro Bowl guard running. He even got burners.
First and goal at the 10. Steve Young to throw it. Gets it to tight end Brent Jones. I beg your pardon. This is Rathman. To about the 1-yard line. Rathman out of the backfield.
Rathman gets the ball here. He said everyone on this offense wants the ball except me, but he's doing pretty good here today. He's the only back in the backfield. You see him left of the screen? He just sneaks through there in the line, catches that ball, turns up, and puts it right towards the goal line. Tom Rathman's a fullback.
Second and goal at the 1, and a good one.
If you ever had to start a team or pick a team, I would for sure want him on mine.
Rathman, he doesn't get it. Flag on the play.
Although I don't know if I'd give him the ball down here. I think that he's better as a lead blocker. I got a holding penalty on that play. But remember the last time in the goal line, he was a lead blocker. McIntyre was the puller, and then put Ricky Waters in behind him. That was a play that worked the last time there.
This is going to take him back. Giants will accept this penalty. It'll still be second down, but out at
Holding
11.
number 61 on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
All on the center, Jesse Zapolo. First time we mentioned his name today, other than the introduction of the players, and it's bad.
Yeah, that's
not fair.
That's the thing that offensive linemen always complain about. The only time they get mentioned is when they get caught holding. But Jesse Zapolo's getting some mentions now. He's in the Pro Bowl this year.
Right. Brent Jones from Young out of bounds at about the 2.
You know, Mike Shanahan is the offensive coordinator of this 49er offense, and when he gets you going and he gets into his mixture, he can really get you on your heels. I mean, you say that the Giant defense is on their heels, and they are. But I'll tell you, Mike Shanahan and his play calling has really put the Giant defense on their heels.
Of course, he was with Dan Reeves at Denver, so he knows Reeves' coaching pattern. Reeves should know his.
And he was the offensive coordinator, and Reeves wanted to be the offensive coordinator, and that's why Shanahan's here.
Young to Waters, his 3rd touchdown of the day.
They're just whipping him now, Pat, every way you can be whipped.
It looks like the 49ers are playing on artificial turf, and the Giants are playing in mud.
Looks like they're playing in the pregame warm-up, and there's no defense in there.
Cofer for the extra point.
Well, another 49ers possession and another touchdown. And you heard the commentators mention the 49ers offensive coordinator, Mike Shanahan. You have to believe that he is taking particular personal pleasure in this game so far, because Dan Reeves is the man who fired him put him out of a job in Denver 2 seasons ago. He came here, picked up as the 49ers offensive coordinator, and he's sticking it to his old boss so far. 23-0 to the Niners.
Yeah, watch it here. He takes McIntyre, who's going to pull to lead him. He leaves McIntyre about right at this point and just cuts it up. Everyone is playing McIntyre. They're all playing the pull. See, they're all widened out with 62. They all think that's where the ball's going. Ricky Waters looks back in there and he said, oh, look at that big hole in there.
In total yards, the 49ers have 264. The Giants have 32. Lawrence Taylor. Gophers kick. Megan handles it and will down it in the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 20.
You know, we talk about the great players in this game, and Lawrence Taylor, this could be his last football game. And you think when he's on defense on the field and the Giants are on defense and the 49ers are on offense, and you're seeing a Jerry Rice on offense and a Lawrence Taylor on defense, you could be seeing two of the best players that ever played their position.
Indeed. Sims to throw. Outside to Aaron Pierce. Maybe 4 yards. Stopped by Romanowski, and he is having a big day.
You know, Phil Simms was saying that he wants to control the tempo of the game. Said that the other day, but he wasn't thinking of this kind of game.
No.
He was thinking of slowing it down, and he said, and the Giants know this, and I think everyone that follows the Giants knows this, that the last thing they want to do is get in a shootout, and now they have to.
Well, he says, Phil does, we can't win a shootout with the 49ers. Sims to throw, gets it outside to Hampton, and he'll get a Giant first down. Knocked out of bounds by Griffin.
You mentioned the one guy, or a number of guys are playing well for the 49ers defensively here this first half, but Bill Romanowski is you know, becoming a dominant player, and that's one of the things that the 49er defense has lacked in that front seven. They haven't had a dominant player. And this first half, Romanowski has been all over the field, both run and pass.
1st and 10 Giants at their own 31. Sims, screen pass to Howard to Hampton. Rodney Hampton behind blockers, picked up about 6, maybe 7.
Again, you're going to see Sims come to the right here because he feels the rush come in here, and he can get to the outside. You see, he starts back here. He feels right there. He feels the pressure there. See, so he can step to the outside, wait, and get the screen pass to Hampton. He can step around the pressure. He wasn't doing that earlier.
2nd down. Behind Mark Jackson from Sims.
Yeah, Sims tried to take that short drop, but Mike Walter blitzed, and you're going to see number 99 is going to come straight up the middle. Just you see the middle linebacker there? He comes and he is unblocked. Sims tried to take that 3-step drop, and Mike Walter was right there. See, 99, boom, no one picks him up. Sims has to throw it right now, but that wasn't the way he wanted it to go. Walter made him throw it sideways.
3rd and 3. Many say this might be Mike Walter's last season. Sims. Through the hands of Mark Jackson. And again, the Giants will have to punt. 2 minutes left to play in the first half at Candlestick Park. 23-0 San Francisco. Right now, the 49ers are taking a big step. The Giants are trying to take a big step right here. 4th and 3. They're going for it.
You know, Phil Simms went off. He was upset. He talked to Dan Reeves. They had the punt coverage team on. Then they took them off and brought the offense back on.
Sims back to throw. The blitz is on, and down goes Sims. Ted Washington and Mike Walter, the first two there.
We talked about Romanowski taking over the game. Mike Walters doing the same thing. And again, they get the big pressure here, and then the rush straight up the middle. They know if you're going to rush Phil Simms, that's the place to rush him. And again, you see number 99, Mike Walter. We saw him on that three-step drop. They didn't block him. They come right back with the same blitz. If you don't block it the first time, try it again. Watch him. Here comes Walter, 99. No one blocks him again. Fourth down. Phil Simms didn't have a chance.
First and 10 for San Francisco at the Giant 30, and Steve Young's trying for more. Swings it through the arms of Brent Jones. Heavy pressure on Phil Simms.
You can see that he's been sacked twice, hurried 5 times, knocked down 4 times. But again, the reason for that is that they haven't had the ball, and that they've gotten behind, and they can't run the ball. So if they don't run and play pass and those kind of things, then they're not playing Giant offense. The Giants are not a drop back pass team.
Second and 10. They jumped, and now they get back. Here's Ricky Waters. Waters still on his feet and out of bounds. Picked up about 7, running hard. Knocked out by Myron Guyton.
Again, he knows the guy to follow. You're going to see Guy McIntyre, number 62, again, the lead blocker, one of the best pulling guards in the game. You see him come out 62. He could run, find a guy, get the guy. Ricky Waters runs right off that block, gets that leg up in the air, gets about another 5 or 6 yards.
The other guard with a good block, Ralph Tam in front of Waters.
Both of these guards are good blocking, pulling guards, but again, McIntyre being one of the best in the game.
Third and 2. Waters close to the 20. Just a little bit short of that first down. A minute 40 left to go in the first half with the clock running. The 49er offensive unit wants to put it away, wants to go for it.
On Thursday, when we talked to Ricky Waters, he said he was going to be calm. He has a tough time staying calm. You say the Giants went for it on 4th down. They didn't make it. The 49ers are going for it on 4th down. They want to put this game away in the first half so they can come out and just have fun in the second half.
They have that added element of their quarterback being a fine runner. This is Rice. Skips away from one, and he is knocked backwards. Unsuccessful rushing play.
Where in the heck did that one come from? I mean, of all the plays you would guess that they're going to run on 4th down and short yardage, a reverse to Jerry Rice would not be the one that I would guess. Once they fake the run, pull the guard, bring Jerry Rice out here. Mark Collins wasn't fooled. He didn't go for anything. He was playing run all the way. He got up, made the force. Jerry Rice couldn't get to the outside.
Corey Miller made the stop. The Giants take over 1st and 10 at the 30.
And Mike Shanahan has to be shaken up. He had to dig deep to get that one on 4th and short.
Meggett with Simms. Let's see if Meggett stays the block or comes out. They don't blitz this time. Incomplete, intended for Callaway. Back with him, Eric Davis, in good coverage. That could have been picked off.
And the Giants are just in a position now that they're just throwing it up and hoping. You know, because they haven't been able to get anything going at all. I mean, they can't get first downs. They can't run it. They just want to get some play somehow.
55 seconds on the game clock in the first half. They have 2 timeouts remaining.
I don't think Dan Reeves has any plays on that sheet for being down 23-0.
Throw it. If it says that on that sheet, Simms is back to do just that. Gets it to Meggett. Meggett. Flag on the play. Romanowski again made the stop.
Flags coming from all over. One was right down there, and then the other deep guy really lobbed one of those things in there.
I'd guess this has to be a face mask on the stop on Meggett.
Well, the one official, I think it was the side judge, he threw one about 35 yards. And he threw it high, too. I mean, he got one of those things that went up and turned over.
Face mask violation against San Francisco.
Remember that interception by Eric Allen against the Jets that we saw in return?
Never forget it. Pass complete to McCaffrey. That should be enough for the Giant first down. But the clock continues to run. And Sim says hurry up.
Well, the Giants, if they could just get in a, just get a field goal here before they go in, and then, get that wake-up call in the locker room and come out and make some kind of game out of it here in the second half.
They have 2 timeouts left. Wide open again is McCaffrey. Again, he can't get out of bounds, and they'll have to stop this one with a timeout. Beautiful day in the Bay Area. Pat Summerall with John Madden. Phil Simms rolls left. Back across the field to Howard Cross, who's wide open. Cross inside the 10 to about the 8. Stopped by Troy Wilson and Dana Hall. 23-yard pickup, and the Giants used their last timeout.
But I think they found out something, again, that they have to move the pocket a little. Sims had a little success moving it to the right that time, moved the pocket to the left, and threw all the way back across the field to cross. So that's probably something we're going to see a lot more of in the second half.
Giants have got their field goal unit on the field. David Treadwell, Mike Horan, the holder.
In any game, Pat, I always felt coaching that the toughest points are the first points. You always have to get something. I remember years ago I learned that when I first started my first year coaching George Landon. He said, whatever it is, always take that field goal. Always get your points first. Once you get your points, then the others come easier.
And George happened to be the kicker.
George was a kicker, but he was 10 years older than me. He was a player, too.
Treadwell. And the field goal is good from 25 yards. That's the end of the first half with the score. The 49ers 23, the Giants 3.
Well, the Giants finishing the half there with a field goal. Not exactly the psychological blow they were looking to strike in the last seconds of the second quarter. It's been horrible for them.
Right, but you got to admit, it's better than what they've been seeing thus far. Taking that last opportunity, that 4th and 3 on their own 28-yard line. I don't know if they giving it over to the 49ers there. If the 49ers could have scored, the Giants might as well not even have come out the second half. But they dodged a bullet, able to get 3 points in the score. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to give them the momentum. It's better than nothing, as I said, but it may help them out just a little bit in the second half. Give them a little confidence.
Okay, Giants only 20 points behind. Join us after the break. Not a great deal of competition here in the first half. The time for our competition now. If there were any prizes for spotting last week's mistake, the last chance to get to the Super Bowl. Bob, before the game, the big question was, could the Niners stop the Giants' running game, and could they get their own offense going? I suppose the answer is yes to both.
Geez, how about all you people at home? Can you figure this one out? It's been incredible. You don't really expect to see. Going into this game, I thought it was going to be more evenly matched. The Giants would be able to execute their offense. The 49ers, their offense. I thought it'd be a lot of points. The Giants have no running game at all. Absolutely none. Hampton has become negligible. On the 49ers side, they've done everything. Everything they want to do. They've run the ball with Waters. They've thrown the ball to Waters. They've thrown the ball to Taylor. They've thrown the ball to Rice. Everybody's had a chance. Even Young has run with the ball. So they're doing everything right. Right now, we talked about this before, though, too. They have the ability, and they have in the past been a team that has been able to come back in the second half. Now, with the little mistake or the little opportunity, I should say, they were given there at the end of the first half, giving the ball back with just over a minute left, going down and getting the points, perhaps it's an opportunity for them to gain a little momentum. I feel they need a whole heck of a lot more momentum than that, but we'll see how it develops in the second half.
What do they do, though? Do they stay with their game plan, running the ball, or are they too far behind for that?
I think they're too far behind for that. I think right now, what they started to do towards the end of the second half was, instead of just handing the ball to Hampton and letting him run with it, they started dropping the short passes off to him. It spreads the 49er defense out a little bit more. It gives Hampton, once he gets the ball, a chance to make some moves, to run around a little bit, find some openings, and get a little bit extra yardage. Once they start doing that, it'll keep the 49er defense honest. Right now, the 49er defense knows exactly what the Giants have to do. They know that they can't run the ball. They know they have to pass the ball. So you look at the defensive front for the 49ers. They're lining up and all they're doing is rushing Phil Simms as fast and as hard as they can, which makes it a very, very difficult day for Phil.
Okay, so the Giants with a giant task ahead of them in the second half. 49-23, Giants 3. Here it is.
Well, the second half started with Phil Simms back under pressure, and he threw 3 straight incompletions before the Giants' first possession ended in a punt. The New York's defense looked more lively. LT getting pressure on Steve Young on the 49ers' next drive, and Canavis McGee getting the sack. We pick up the action with the Giants driving from their own 23.
Long count by Simms on first down. Throws over the head of Jackson. I don't know if that was just a misread or Simms was just wild high.
This could be Lawrence Taylor's last game, as we said before, so he's doing everything he can. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen him with a chalkboard drawing plays, but he's over there trying to draw defenses that they should do, or trying to draw what Steve Young is doing.
That's the first time you're right. I always thought he was left-handed.
Well, he grips it and rips it right-handed.
2nd and 10. Simms to throw. Pressure. McCaffrey. Incomplete.